Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Kindness Habit. When you leave today, you're going to have more appreciation for what it means to really invest in yourself, take care of yourself, the importance of hiring a coach, and also making sure your culture is one that is filled with fun and appreciation. My guest today is someone that I've known for years. He's actually one of my clients from Niagara Bottling. And I asked him to be a guest today because he has one of the best attitudes I have ever met. He's also one of these people that I have given tools to, and he takes everything that I've talked about and actually implements them and has gotten amazing results. So I'm so excited for all of you to listen to some insights from my friend, Bob, calling from Stockton, California. Welcome,
Hello, hello. Hi,
Bob.
Allison. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm so honored to be doing this with you today. I really am.
I'm so excited to have you. So tell the listeners just a little bit about you.
Oh, okay. Well, I live in near Stockton, California, Northern California.
Yep.
Been here most of my life. So I've been in manufacturing over 20 years. Love it. I grew up in the family business, moved on to the corporate world, and went through the salty snack area. Went into beverage manufacturing, and here I sit now for the last couple of years with Niagara, loving everything about Niagara Bottling and its culture. It's just an amazing company all the way around. The way they treat the people, they treat us, they give us what we need to be successful. But on the personal side of things, so married, my lovely wife, I love her.
Mhm.
Um, Over 20 years, and I have three daughters and a granddaughter and a son-in-law. So we are, family is everything to me, and just something as simple as eating dinner together as many times as we can. My youngest daughter is 19, middle daughter 26 almost, and oldest daughter is 29. So yeah, family is everything, and as parents, Tony, my wife, and I, we've tried to instill the values in our kids that are kind of aligned with ours, and
Mhm.
we're very proud of them. We're proud of the family unit and everything that they do. So they like to give back, they like to contribute, they like to be involved.
Mhm.
So to me, that's important in every aspect of life. So
Oh my gosh, what an amazing legacy that you're passing on. I also see the way that you feel about your family, you also feel about your Niagara family. You
yeah.
you just have so much passion about people.
Oh,
Oh my gosh,
oh, my
look
light
at
went off.
that.
Oh my goodness.
Now, if you are just listening to this, what happened is there's a timer system and the lights
Yes.
went off, which is fine because then they just turned right back on. So Bob is in a very fancy
The perils
customer.
of a new building. Someone put the plant in front of the motion detector lights. Okay, we're in business. We're back
I
together.
love it.
So,
But you're in this really cool customer experience room now too, right? It has tons of technology.
yes, amazing. Yeah, yeah. Just it's a testament to who Niagara is as a company. Our owners, they give us everything we need to be successful,
Mhm.
and that's an easy statement. It's not just about money. It's about support. It's about belief. It's
Mhm.
about all the stuff that an individual and a team needs to
Mhm.
be successful. And as leaders, we talk a lot about removing barriers. Early in my career as a leader, it was we weren't called managers; we were called resources. And
Mhm.
I asked why? Why? What kind of weird title is that? And they're like, your job is to not move people around. Your job is to remove the barriers. The people know what they have to do. Just remove the barriers from them. You are a resource to them.
Ooh, I
And that
love
was,
that.
yeah, it was the beginning of the servant leadership type model. That was 20 years
Yep.
ago. That was still pretty popular, new. And that's kind of stuck. I know servant leadership has kind of molded and transformed over the years,
Yep.
but Niagara believes in that in a big way, and believing in it and doing it are two different things. A lot of times people want it,
Mhm.
but then they don't want to invest. They don't want to make the commitment. Niagara makes the commitment. So
Right.
I love this company.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
And you also, I loved what you said that Niagara provides tools and you can do whatever you want with the tools. So you and I first met, I was doing actually a big training for a bunch of
Yeah.
plant leaders. And you actually reached out to me and just said, hey, I really want to get even better. So we had the opportunity that I was your executive coach
Hmm.
and worked with you for months on how you can be a more effective leader. And I've coached thousands of people over my career. And you really stood out as someone who's truly a sponge and really wants to get better in every way of your life. I know that you have done stuff in your personal life as well as in your professional life. And when I had a group of your team members on a training, and I asked people, I said, hey, who is standing out as a leader who really gives that appreciation, that support? And your name kept popping up. So I did want to hear from your point of view and let the listeners know, why is it so important that as a leader, we truly do have that positivity and that support? Because I remember you telling me you're at another company who we will not talk about their name, but you were not as encouraged with your positive energy. So if you could let the listeners know with your group, why has it been so successful and important that we do show appreciation and we really bring that positivity to work?
Oh, yeah. So, uh, okay. So I'm 54 years old, got a few years experience. I'll throw this out there just to kind of start. Being positive, being kind is not a weakness. Being positive, being kind, being grateful is a strength, but you have to use it correctly.
Mhm.
So as we move into the leadership realm, early in my career, I was also told one thing. I was supervising a team of mechanics, and I would say, thank you. Hey, thanks for fixing that. Hey, thanks for doing that. I appreciate that. And one of the mechanics who I'm still in touch with today came to me and says, I got some feedback for you, Bob. He says, you say thank you too much. People are going to take advantage of you. And I said, why do you say that to me? Why? I mean, thank you, but why? Because it can be viewed as you're weak. I said, okay, I appreciate that. One of my problems is I can't change who I am like that, right?
Mhm. Great,
I
you're a
can't,
grateful person.
I just, yeah, I want to be grateful. And I believe that even though I received that feedback years ago, it's kind of fueled me to guide the way I am kind and how I shape my message. So step one, being kind to people. It doesn't mean to me, it doesn't mean to be nice. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean to be overly accommodating.
Mhm.
Being kind to people means to me knowing what the individual needs, which then parlays up to knowing what the team needs to be successful, and giving it to them,
Mhm.
supplying it to them, facilitating it for them,
Yep.
because not everyone wants to do that. And I believe if you take that path and you take the time to understand what people need and you give them what they need, you facilitate that, then you're viewed as a stronger leader. You're viewed, back to my early career, you're viewed as a resource to them. And that's kind of,
Love
like I said,
that.
it still sticks.
Exactly.
Um,
And what you
and
see, oh, yeah.
I believe it, and right, and
Wait,
I
there's
believe,
more.
yeah, there's more. None of that can happen. None of what I just said can happen. This is the hard part. Without believing in yourself, you
Mm.
have to believe in yourself. You have to. Believing in yourself isn't arrogance. Believing in yourself isn't overconfidence. Believing in yourself says, I'm okay failing, and I want to fail so I can get better.
Mhm.
I want to fail. I want to struggle. I want feedback from people.
Mhm.
You and I started working together because of direct feedback I would get both from my wife and my associates,
Mhm.
my colleagues. Hey Bob, your stories go on too damn long. Just tell me, just get to the point. And you and I, that's where we started. We worked on a
Yep.
lot of things together, but that was where we started.
Yep.
Yep, clear, concise message.
Right.
So, but I couldn't have done that. I couldn't even have engaged with you if I didn't have the core belief that my parents gave me. And you got to believe in yourself.
Mhm.
So,
Right. Yep. That is so true. We really do because and people can feel our energy if we lack that confidence and we
mhm,
aren't taking care of ourselves.
right.
And you did something this year that has really been transformational in your personal life. So can you
Uh,
let people know it started as a challenge with the hard 75, right? And then tell people what you did because you're right. Like we have to take care of ourselves in order to be able to have that confidence. So what did you do as far as the kindness you showed and the challenge you gave yourself this year?
Yeah. Oh boy. That's okay. I'll talk about it. That's fun. Um, I'm going to go back a few years real quick, just to
Okay.
set a premise here, the little foundation. So in 2020, right before COVID, or right as COVID started, I had a stroke. It was a spinal cord stroke. It knocked me out. I was paralyzed from the waist down. I was told you're never going to walk again, so get used to using a wheelchair or crutches. Okay. But before that, I had a health scare, and I took that health scare years ago and got into really good shape. So when I had the stroke, I was in fairly good shape. I wasn't Mr. America, but I was in good enough shape. And I was able to recover, at least teach myself how to walk again. I can walk. I walk a little funny with a limp, but I still walk. Well, it's been almost 5 years. And mentally, even though I believe in myself, I doubted things. We're human beings.
Mhm.
And I struggled a little bit with recovering fully. Well, one of my partners here, he came in my office and he says, I want to do this thing called 75 hard. And it's this workout thing. You work out twice a day. I'm like, oh boy, I'm 20 years older than most people I work with. I'm like, okay, that's good for you, but I'm a little old for doing that. He challenged me. He says, why don't you try it? So I tried it, and it's been 6 months, and I'm still doing it. Almost 7 months now.
Wow.
It's work out twice a day. It's read books. I read your book as part of my regimen. I just it's a fantastic program. So I went from 270 pounds. I'm happy this morning. I was 227 pounds. I'm moving along. My goal is to be 220-ish pounds. But it's the habit.
Hmm.
So as we talk about goals and taking care of yourself and taking care of people and all these things we do in life, you can't have a goal without a habit.
Hmm.
You can't say I want to lose weight. I'm going to lose weight and this is how I'm going to do it. Right? There's a how behind it.
Yep.
So taking care of myself, it's been awesome. People notice it now. Today I'm wearing size 36 pants for the first time in a long time. I threw my 38s away. They were falling off me. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so these are cool things, and but taking care of myself is important for so many reasons. My family likes to see me taking care of myself because, believe it or not, I guess they still want me sticking around here for a while. Sometimes I feel like they want to they want to get rid of me, but for the most part, I guess they want me to stick around. But I think taking care of yourself, it sets the tone for people when they see you taking care of yourself. They see that you respect yourself, that you appreciate yourself, and then that goes into all the stuff we've just been talking about believing in yourself and the image you portray
Mm.
and how you are, how you present yourself
Sure.
to be available for others.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I think in general, if we see someone that doesn't look like they care,
Hmm.
we're not going to engage with them. We're like, well, if you
Hmm.
don't care about yourself, then you can't really care about me probably either.
Right.
And we move on, right? So,
Yeah. Well, and you did this with me. I talk about 8 ways that we communicate,
yeah,
and one of them is your attitude and your appearance. So
yes,
it's like how we show up for others really matters, and our attitude really matters.
yes,
Because in leadership, people are watching all of our moves and what we're doing. And so when we take care of ourselves, I know that at least I went to the gym this morning, like I have more energy showing up. So the kindness we show ourselves is the foundation of effective leadership. What
yes.
I also liked what you do is that when you thank people, you tell them why. So sometimes when I get feedback from people, they'll say, my manager, and I don't know if the mechanic was talking this, about you this way, but if people just say thank you and we don't tell them why, then it doesn't mean as much. But when I was coaching other of the people that work with you, they said that you're very specific in why you appreciate them. So giving
Mm,
that specific feedback really does help and building those relationships. So I
yeah.
love that you are a role model, not only in how you take care of yourself, you also are a sourdough bread maker fan. Huge fan of that. Like you make so many, and I love like hearing you're passionate about that too. So also
Yeah.
just having that in your life. But I love that you have so much energy outside of work with your family. You take care of yourself and you also take care of, you really feel like Niagara is your family, which makes a huge difference. So if you were to leave the people who are listening to this with just a couple pieces of advice for how can they really start to put more kindness into the people that they work with. But also, I loved what you said about creating a habit of being kind to yourself. So, what would you leave the listeners with today as far as what we should focus on?
Oh, yes. Know who you are. And
Mm.
so once you know who you are, you know what you can give to others. Once you know what you can give to others, then take the time to know what they need.
Ooh, I love
So, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to tell you what they need. A lot of times in my career, I've given people what I feel that they need because I've invested in them. And I'll usually lead off some of the harder conversations with, you may not want to hear this. You may not think you know this. I may not be right, but I want to share this with you because I've seen this in you.
that.
And I believe that we can make a difference if we work on this, or if we get better at this, or if we continue doing this. It's not always a negative, right? Hey,
Right.
you're doing this really well. Let's
Yep.
keep pushing that. I
Good.
recognize that there's value, but you have to know what they need, and then you can work together to help push them along. As
Mm-hmm.
leaders, I always say I want to make sure that I don't turn around and there's no one behind me. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to just look 15 degrees off center. I want to see everyone around to make sure that we're all moving forward together. Leaders, that doesn't mean you're in front of the line. It means you're in it. You're in it together.
Mm-hmm.
But as a leader, I may want to be in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But if my team around me doesn't know that I want them, relationships, marriages, doesn't matter what it is. If the
Yep.
other person doesn't know you want them around, they're going to presume that you don't want them around. That's our
Right.
human nature, unfortunately.
Yep.
So take the time to know yourself, get
Mhm.
better at what you need to do that,
Love
and
it.
then that'll parlay into knowing other people and let them know what it is and what it isn't,
Mhm.
and also let them know why you're telling them. I'm a why guy.
Oh, yeah.
I can't, my brain won't close that loop until there's a why. There's a how, there's a
Yep.
what, there's a when, but you have to have the why.
Yep. I love
And
that.
that the why provides the final definition, but the foundational definition of what you're actually trying to do.
Hmm.
Without the why, you're going in circles. Hey, look
Hmm.
what I did, right? So, but you don't even know what you did, or you don't even know why you're doing it. Right.
Yep.
So,
Oh my gosh,
um,
I love that. So building the relationships, having the courage to have these conversations, because I love what you said too. You might not know unless you ask people. So
yeah.
asking these open-ended questions, making it more collaborative, but also what I heard you say is slow down and figure out what you really need for
Yeah.
yourself and be true to yourself. I see you do this all the time.
Have
You are
to.
and you're so loyal to yourself as well as everyone at Niagara. Niagara is so lucky to have you.
Oh,
And I am so grateful that you came on my podcast today because you have so much insight, you have so much impact, and I loved hearing from so many other people the difference that you're making. So thank you so much, Bob, for making time today. And you continue to inspire me, and I'm so excited that we got to work together. So thank you.
thank you, Allison. You inspire me equally or greater than, so I appreciate it. I love, and you mentioned earlier that you were my executive coach. You will always be my executive coach and
Okay,
mentor.
good.
So sorry you signed up for that. You didn't know what you
I'm
signed up
ready.
for, but yeah, thank you for being who you are too. You're a very special person.